Alright, y'all, this is a different type of video. I told you I was gonna make a reading video, one of these, in the poll. And now here we are, rereading Captain Underpants and the Attack of the Talking Toilets, the second epic novel by Dave Pickley. And I think this is the first series of Captain Underpants. I may be wrong, but I solely base this off the movie, because that was the first movie they made, is the Talking Toilets. So, since I'm going to read to hold on, let me see. Around to chapter. How many chapters are there? I get even for myself. Hold up. I know it's supposed to be reading. I know you can't see nothing, but just listen to the big black voice. I'm trying to find out how many chapters are in this book, because okay, it's 24 chapters, so if I do 6 times 4, because I read 6 chapters, that should be good enough for y'all, okay? So it's going to be through 1 through 6. I'm going to keep reading until we get, It sounds good, y'all. Alright, I'm trying to get into it, because, baby, I'm tired. I bet my black ass is sitting here. I got like 3 chicken sandwiches from Popeyes. I asked for no mayo and they still gave me mayo. I personally don't like mayo at all, but it's whatever. It's fine. I can just take it off and wipe it with my ass. Anyway, what was I talking about? Alright, let's get into the book. I'm sorry for yapping. I'm a yapper. Chapter 1, George and Harold. Now, if I say something and mess them up, don't you say shit in the comments. I will dog you. Because I'm dyslexic, okay? I'm trying my best. And I read this is a second grade book. If you cannot read this or understand, this is sad. Alright, let me shut up. Chapter 1, George and Harold. This is George Baird and Harold Hutchins. George is the kid on the left with the tie and the flat top, and Harold is the one with the right with the t-shirt and the bad haircut. Remember that now. Depending on who you ask, you probably hear from a lot of people think a lot of different things. That George and Harold, their teacher, Miss Ribble, might say that George and Harold were disputive and behaviorally challenged. Their gym teacher, Mr. Meaner, might add that they were serious need of major attitude adjustment. Their principal, Mr. Krupp, would probably have a few more choice words to include like sneaky, criminally, mischievously, if the boys don't get the last thing. Damn. Hold up. All right. Their principal, Mr. Krupp, would included damn. Shit. Their principal, Mr. Krupp, would probably have a few more choice of words to include like sneakily, and criminally, mischievous, and quote, I will get those boys. This is the last thing I will. You get the idea. But if you ask their parents will tell you that George and Harold were smart, sweet, and very hearted. Even if they're a bit silly sometimes, I have to agree with their parents. Sleepy already. Shit. But even so, their silliness did get them into a lot of trouble sometimes. In fact, it once got them in so much trouble that they accidentally almost destroyed the entire planet with an army full of vicious talking toilets. But before I can tell you that story, I have to tell you this story. Chapter 2, this story. One fine morning at Jerome Horwitz Elementary School, George and Harold had just gotten their 4th grade remedial gym class. They saw a big sign in the hallway. It was an announcement for the 2nd annual intervention convention. George and Harold had a few fond memories of last year's intervention convention, but this year's convention was a little bit different. The prize winner of the principal of the day, wow, said George. Whoever gets to be principal will make all the rules for the whole day, and everyone in the school has to follow those rules. But we had to win first prize this year, exclaimed Harold. Then George and Harold principal, Mr. Krupp, showed. Aha! he shouted. I bet you two are up to no good. Not really, said George. We're just reading about this year's contest. Yeah, said Harold. We're going to be the first prize. We're going to win the first prize contest of the Principal's Day. Ha 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 ha, laughed Mr. Crab. Do you honestly think I will let you two enter this year after the stunt you pulled last year's convention? George and Harold smiled and thought back to the first annual convention. Invention convention. Oh, my fault. Chapter 3, flashback. It was about 1 year earlier, and all the faculty students at Jerome High School had gathered in the gymnasium. I'm getting hungry reading this. Damn. I need me a 4 for 5 for Wendy's. Oh, that Krabby Patty. Anyway. It was 1 year earlier, and all the faculty students of Jerome Howard's Elementary School had gathered in the gymnasium for what will be known later as the sticky chair incident. George and Harold stepped into the microphone. Ladies and gentlemen, said George and Harold, I have invented something that is guaranteed to keep you all glued to your seats. Yes, said Harold, we call it glue. Mr. Krupp became very angry. You two did not invent glue, he shouted. He stood up to take the microphone away from them, but Harold and his chair stood up with him. Everyone in the gymnasium laughed. The school secretary, Miss Anthropoid, stood up to help Mr. Krupp's chair from his pants. Her chair stood up too, and everyone in the gymnasium laughed harder. The other teachers stood up, and you guessed it, they were stuck to their chairs as well. Everyone in the audience howled with laughter. One kid stood up and goes to the bathroom, and his chair came up with him. Also, the audience stopped laughing so hard that they quickly checked their chairs, and suddenly the laughter stopped completely, and everyone in the whole school was glued to their seats. You see, it was true that George and Harold did not invent glue. They had invented a new type of glue, by simply mixing rubber cement with concentrated orange juice mix they had found created quickly by drying. Body heat activated glue. Then this applied a special glue to every seat in the gymnasium except theirs early that morning. Everybody in the gymnasium was glaring at George and Harold, seething with anger. I got a good idea, said George. What? Said Harold. Run, cried George. George and Harold were grinning from ear to ear, remembering their silly invention and chaos that followed. That was hilarious, laughed Harold. Yeah, chuckled George. It'll be hard to top that this year. Well, you won't get a chance this year, said Mr. Krupp. He took out a magnifying glass and held it to the fine print at the bottom of the sign. Quote, this contest will be open to all students in the 3rd and 4th grades except George Barrett and Harold Hutchins. Alright. You mean we can't enter the contest? Asked Harold. It's worse than that, laughed Mr. Krupp. You boys can't even attend this year's convention. I'm putting you two in study hall the whole day. Mr. Krupp, vigorously. Rats, said Harold. What are we going to do now? Well, said George, you know old saying, if you can't join them, beat them. Chapter 4, The Invention. Early that evening, George and Harold sneaked into the back of the school with their supplies and crept into the gymnasium and peeked around. I think somebody's still in here, whispered Harold. Oh, it's just Melvin Sneatley, said George. Melvin was the school brainiac. He was busy putting on some last minute touches on his new convention for the contest. Get into it. I'm sorry. We should wait here until he leaves, whispered Harold. No way, said George. He could be here all night. Let's just go over there and talk to him. When Melvin saw George and Harold, he was not happy at all. Oh no, he said. I bet you guys are here to mess with everyone's invention, said George. Listen, I promise not to mention your invention. If you promise not to tell anyone you saw us here tonight. Melvin looked lovingly at his invention and reluctantly agreed. I promise, he said. Great, said George. So what is the invention of yours anyway? It's like a photocopy machine. It looks. It's just it. Damn. Let me take a break. It just looks like a photocopy machine. Well, it used to be a photocopy machine, said Melvin, but I've made major adjustments to it. Now it's an invention that will revolutionize the world. I call it Patsy 2000. It revolutionizes the world and you name it Patsy? Asked Harold. Yes, said Melvin. Patsy is an acronym for photo, atomic trans, samagabulating, gobulating, yectoventribulotonic xanophytomizer. I think. I don't know. I feel like it's a long ass word. Yes, sorry I asked, said Harold. Allow me to demonstrate, said Melvin. The Patsy 2000 can make any one-dimensional image and create a living, breathing, three-dimensional copy of that image. For example, take this ordinary photo of a mouse. Melvin placed the photo of the mouse onto the glass screen of Patsy 2000 and pressed start. The lights in the gymnasium dimmed as all the power in the entire school seemed to get sucked into the Patsy 2000. Soon the machine began to vibrate and hum loudly, and tiny bolts of static electricity snapped from underneath. Hope that thing doesn't explode, said Harold. Oh, it's nothing, said Melvin. You should have seen how the Patsy 2000 reacted when I created a poodle. Finally, after a series of flashes and loud zaps, everything stopped. A small ding was heard. Then a tiny mouse crawled out from the side door of the Patsy 2000 onto the floor. Isn't it wonderful? Exclaimed Melvin. George inspected the mouse closely. That's a great trick, said George, laughed. You haven't been going for a while. It's not a trick, cried Melvin. The Patsy 2000 really does bring photos to life. I've even created living creatures from paintings and drawings. Yeah, right, laughed Harold. And I thought we were the con artists. George and Harold walked away chuckling. It was time to move on to bigger and better things. George and Harold went out to another inner gymnasium, opened their backpacks, and began to work. George busied himself by turning all the nozzle sprays on the auto dogmatic washer around. Harold filled up the soap tank with Indian ink. Ooh, some bitches. They some real bitches. They moved on the volcano detector. Will you please pass me the bag of butterscotch pudding and Phillips head screwdriver? Asked Harold. Sure, said George, as he carefully inserted eggs into the electric ping pong ball, sir. Balls. Chapter 6, The Invention Convention. The following day started out sunny and cheerful. The students, faculty filed into the gymnasium, checked the seats very carefully before sitting down. Greetings, said Mr. Chubb, who was standing up at the microphone. You don't need to worry about your seats today. I'm taking measures to ensure this convention won't be a disaster like last year. Oh Lord, I done tore a page. Shit. Goddamn, I done tore a page. Fuck. Hold on. I gotta get some tape. I done tore the damn page. Shit. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I apologize. I done tore the damn page. Hold up. I done tore the damn page. Shit. Damn. Tear. Alright. Everyone in the gymnasium in Madison settled in as Madison Mancini, a third grader who stepped on stage to demonstrate her automatic dog washer. First set, Madison, you put your dog into the tub. Then you press this button. Madison pressed the start button. At first, nothing happened. And suddenly, a squirt of black ink sprayed up and out all over the crowd, except the dog was soaked. As Madison tried to desperately turn off the sprayers, "I can't stop it," she cried. "Someone turn all the nozzles around." How did you not see that? Now, who could have done that? Asked Mr. Krupp. Next up was Donnie's Shoemaker. That's your last name? Shoemaker is crazy. With his electric ping pong ball server, he turned on the machine and immediately it began hurling extra large grade eggs into the crowd. Foop, 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 fuck, fuck, foop, foop. Went into the machine, splat, 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 gat, went the eggs. I'm sorry, y'all. "I can't turn off the machine," cried Donnie. Someone jammed a paper clip into the controller. Now, who could have done that? Asked Mr. Ripple. Freddie Moyer's volcano detector was a big flop. When Freddie connected the circuits to the 9-volt battery, a large spring, which had been crammed into the center of the miniature volcano, launched a giant plastic bag of butterscotch pudding into the high crowd. It landed somewhere between the third and fourth rows. Splat. "Hey," whined Freddie, "someone put pudding in my volcano." Now, who could have done that? Asked Mr. Meaner. Last page, y'all. The rest of the day went on much the same way, with people shouting from, "Hey, who put oatmeal on my solar power leaf blower?" to, "Hey, who ate all the mice out my treadmill doom buggy?" It wasn't long before the gymnasium fled. The second annual convention had to be called off. "How could this happen?" cried Mr. Krupp as he wiped chocolate syrup from pencil shavings to creams of mushroom soup off his face and t-shirt. "Jordan has been in the study room all day long. I put them there myself." "Excuse me, Mr. Krupp," said Melvin sneezily. "I think I may have an answer to your question." Alright, we're at chapter 6. We're in chapter 7 through 12. If you enjoyed this, leave a little comment. If you enjoyed my reading, don't judge me. Do not judge me on my dyslexic. Okay, I already explained that to you at the beginning of the video, so don't exclaim. Okay, and my editor, he should put images on the page. If he don't, then he a lazy son of a bitch. Alright, but I love y'all savages. I know you can't see me, but 7 and 7. Peace out. I love you.